Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on this video and giving it a shot. You're probably wondering why I'm dressed up in a yellow suit here today and why I am taking risks of having a beautiful black cat sit on me while I'm wearing said yellow suit. Yeah, the fur will probably get stuck all to the suit, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. I'm wearing the yellow suit to promote an awareness of OI. OI stands for Osteogenesis Imperfecta. And the reason I'm doing this is because today marks the last day of OI Awareness Week. OI Awareness Week happens internationally around the world as an attempt to raise awareness for the condition known as Osteogenesis Imperfecta, or OI for short. OI Awareness Week takes place every single year on the week of May 6th, which is known as WISHBONE Day. May 6th is an international day for awareness for OI. OI Awareness Week is centered around May 6th every single year. If you're new to my channel, thanks for giving this video a shot and clicking on it here today. I appreciate it very much. I post a lot here on YouTube and I'm all over the place. So after this video is done, maybe click on my playlist section to see my content in a more organized fashion so you can find something else that may pique your interest. And if you're not new to my channel, I have to let you know that there's been some budget increases around here in the studio. So you might have noticed that I have this nice beautiful piece of rare precious artwork on the wall. We also had enough in the budget to get this tiny bowl of almonds next to me on the table, next to the bowl of chocolate as well as the paper flowers. And pay no attention to that obscure book down on the ground. It's probably not important anyways, and it may or may not be involved in some Easter eggs later on down the line. But enough about the budget increases around here at the station. I want to talk more about Osteogenesis Imperfecta and why it deserves a little time in the spotlight here today. I have a number of friends who were born with OI, and OI, Osteogenesis Imperfecta, is a condition that not only affects one's bones, but also their collagen and the joints that connect the bones together as well. Let's break it down. Osteogenesis Imperfecta. So what does it mean? Osteo generally refers to bones or the skeletal system. Genesis is a word that means to begin, the beginning of something. In this case, I think it refers to the birth of the human being who has Osteogenesis Imperfecta. And imperfecta sounds a lot like it sounds like, and it means a lot what it means. Is something imperfect, but more so in this case it refers to the brittle nature of the bones. So Osteogenesis Imperfecta, one who was born with brittle bones. OI is a genetic condition that has more to do with the connective tissue and the collagen of the person rather than the bones themselves, although it does affect all of those things, collagen, bones, and connective tissue. But according to OIF.org, the most common mutations seem to affect the quality and the quantity of type 1 collagen. The number of symptoms and the severity of these symptoms vary greatly amongst the various people who have OI. OI is not just one type of condition, it's rather a spectrum of many different types and levels of severity of the condition itself. In some cases, there's very little visible exterior signs or hints that one has OI. In other cases, it can be hallmarked by traits of being born much shorter than the average person, or where they might have bones that are twisted, bent, or malformed to various degrees, hearing loss, scoliosis, dentinogenesis imperfecta, which affects about half the people of OI. It's where you have brittle teeth as well as your brittle bones. So they might not have any enamel and they might have weakened dentin as a result of this condition as well. Cardiopulmonary issues might even be a case, as well as problems with various other organs within that particular body system. So with it being a connective tissue disease rather than strictly a bone disease, it's often misunderstood as strictly being a bone disease. It's estimated that about 50,000 people have OI here in the United States. OI has an equal rate of occurrence among males and females, various races, as well as various ethnic groups. Because it's a genetic condition, it's not something that can be cured, at least not in the meantime. It's hard to say where all the science and technology will lead us in the near future, but for the moment right now, it is a disease that cannot be cured, but it can be treated depending on the level of severity and what it is you're trying to treat exactly. As I said earlier, OI can manifest itself in many different ways depending on the individual. Bone deformity and bone pain, as well as short stature, are some of the more common clinical features of OI, but others can include spinal curves, lower bone density. Hearing loss happens in about 50% of the people who have OI. Brittle teeth, or dentinogenesis imperfecta. Respiratory problems can most certainly be a factor too in many cases, considering that sometimes the body is much more compact with its organs inside, and deformities in the chest cavity as well as the spine can also add more to respiratory issues. Sometimes visual problems like myopia and retinal detachment can be an issue too, because once again, OI is a connective tissue disease, not so much limited to just bones. Loose joints, ligament laxity, and weakness in the muscles, skin laxity, the skin can bruise easier, cardiac issues, fatigue. Quite a number of people with OI also have higher than normal body temperatures as well. An unfortunate thing when it comes to people with disabilities, not just with OI, but with other disabilities as well, is that many people tend to make assumptions about what condition someone may or may not have, or what their needs may or may not be, or what kind of benefits they may have, or what kind of quality of life they live, or whether or not they have mental problems or not, and the list goes on and on. I've been spending quite a bit of time, in fact, with a friend of mine who has OI, and I'm learning something new on a regular basis about their condition. And as it goes with disabilities in general, not all disabilities are easily seen. If there's one thing I learned from my friend, when it comes to people with disabilities and when it comes to people who have OI, is this: no one can speak for the whole entire disabled community, and no one can speak for everyone who happens to have OI. Therefore, the best source for information comes down to the individual. It's best not to assume what someone's needs are. It's best not to assume what conditions they have. It's best not to assume what kind of benefits they have or quality of life they have. And it's all too easy for many people out there to assume these things when it comes to something they don't understand. So to come full circle, that's the point of what this day is all about. That's what the point of this video here is today, is to bring more awareness to OI and talk about it to anyone out there who's willing to listen. And if you are listening, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video and listen to what I have to say about osteogenesis imperfecta. And if you're interested in learning more about osteogenesis imperfecta, you can check out some links in the description below, or you can ask someone who has the condition and maybe they can share some personal stories and you can learn a thing or two that way as well. Anyways, thanks very much for watching this video today. I am by no means an expert on OI, and I'm learning more and more about it as time goes on. And I do care about the condition quite a bit because I have a couple people in my life that I love and care about who were born with OI, and it's definitely something that's worth talking about, shedding more light on, and discussing more. Alright everyone, thanks very much for tuning in. This is where I leave you. Please, as always, remember to never give up. Do your best, stay true to you, and be amazing. This is The Heart. Thanks for watching, and good night.